The story of the 1988 Lincoln cent begins long before the coin itself was struck, as it is part of a lineage that stretches back to 1909, when the United States Mint introduced the first Lincoln cent, honoring the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, became one of the most iconic in American numismatics, and its longevity set the stage for every future issue, including the 1988 cent. The coin carried the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln. On the obverse, while the reverse in 1988 still featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By the time 1988 arrived, the Lincoln Memorial reverse had already been in use for nearly 3 decades, and the cent had transitioned through several composition changes. In 1982, the United States Mint made one of the most significant changes in the coin's long history, shifting from the classic bronze alloy of copper tin and zinc to a new copper-plated zinc composition. This change was driven by rising copper prices and the need to produce the cent more economically. By 1988, all Lincoln cents were struck using this newer composition, which consisted of a zinc core with a thin outer layer of copper, giving it the appearance of the traditional copper coin while maintaining much lower production costs. The year 1988 fits into an interesting era for the Lincoln cent. During the late 1980s, the Mint was producing enormous quantities of coins as the United States economy needed a steady supply of small change. This led to high mintage numbers for the 1988 cent, with billions of coins struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The coins themselves were produced primarily for circulation, meaning that most 1988 cents served in daily commerce, moving through hands across the country and rarely saved in high grade. This makes gem-quality examples desirable among collectors today, as only a small portion survived with pristine surfaces and strong original luster. One fascinating aspect of the 1988 Lincoln cent lies in its die varieties and the transitional elements that occurred due to changes in design hubs used at the Mint. In the late 1980s, the United States Mint was gradually updating and refining the master dies that produced the coins, and this process introduced subtle differences in certain design features. The most well-known of these for the 1988 cent is the so-called 1988 reverse of 1989 variety. This occurs on some Philadelphia minted cents where the reverse design is actually the version intended for the following year. The easiest way to identify this variety is through the style of the designer's initials FG located to the right of the Lincoln Memorial. On the reverse used for 1989, the initials have a slightly different shape and spacing. Collectors prize this error because it reflects an important transitional moment in the production process and because only a small portion of 1988 cents were struck with this reverse variety. The Denver Mint also produced huge numbers of 1988 cents, and while the majority are considered common, there are collectors who focus on high-grade examples and search for errors from that facility. Errors for both mints from this period can include off-center strikes, die cracks, die chips, and examples with weak or distorted lettering. All of these contribute to the fascination collectors have with modern-era cents, which may appear ordinary, but hold the potential for hidden surprises. From a historical perspective, the 1988 Lincoln cent represents a period when the cent was still an essential unit of American currency, despite ongoing discussions about its usefulness. As inflation continued to rise during the 1970s and 1980s, the buying power of the cent declined, but the Mint continued producing billions of them because businesses and banks still demanded them for everyday transactions. The debate about eliminating the cent was already starting, but it would be many more years before it became a mainstream topic. During this time, the Mint maintained high production efficiency and consistency, ensuring that the coins remained reliable for the public. While the design of the 1988 cent may appear unchanged at first glance, it is part of a much larger American story. Abraham Lincoln's portrait continued to serve as a national symbol of leadership unity and democratic ideals. The choice to place Lincoln on the cent in 1909 had been groundbreaking, as it was the first time a real historical person appeared on everyday United States coinage. The fact that his likeness remained unchanged into 1988 reflects both the respect the nation holds for Lincoln and the enduring appeal of Brenner's original artwork. The reverse featuring the Lincoln Memorial also carried symbolic weight. The memorial itself is one of the most visited landmarks in Washington, D.C., and it embodies the nation's reverence for Lincoln's legacy. Depicting this structure on the cent connected the coin to themes of unity, equality, and historical remembrance. For many Americans, the Lincoln cent, especially the memorial reverse, became one of the first coins they learned to recognize and one of the first to spark curiosity about the past. By the late 1980s, the mint was improving its technology, allowing for more efficient die creation and more consistent strike quality. This meant that even though billions of cents were made each year, the mint could maintain high standards of detail and clarity in the design. However, with such large quantities being produced, coins were also subject to heavy mechanical stress, and many entered circulation with small imperfections. These imperfections today contribute to the diversity collectors find when examining high-grade rolls or bags of 1988 cents. Collectors of modern Lincoln cents often look for two primary goals when studying the 1988 issue. The first is finding well-preserved examples with strong mint luster and minimal surface marks. Since most 1988 cents were used heavily, finding perfect specimens is far more difficult than the large mintage numbers suggest. The second major goal is searching for the 1988 reverse of 1989 variety, which has become one of the most desirable finds of the decade. This variety stands as a reminder that even in a highly mechanized modern minting process, small human or mechanical, oversights can result in unexpected treasures. Beyond minting details, the 1988 Lincoln cent captures a snapshot of American life during the late 1980s. It was a period of rapid technological advancement, expanding global influence and cultural shifts. The cent circulated in the pockets of millions of Americans during a time marked by economic changes, new innovations, and shifting cultural landscapes, while most people barely noticed the coin during its everyday use. It nonetheless played a role in the daily rhythm of life, serving as change for groceries, vending machines, parking meters, and countless small purchases. As coin collectors and historians look back today, the 1988 Lincoln cent remains an important member of the iconic Lincoln series. It reflects the transition of the design from the long-running memorial reverse to the future redesigns that would arrive in later years. It offers collectors a chance to study subtle variations, minting updates, and the final stages of the pre-1990 design period. The coin carries within it the stories of the past, the artistry of Brenner and Gasparo, and the operational decisions of the mint as it adapted to modern challenges.